everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the Hapori Podcast. I'm Renzo Mocs. I make a Bionicle series called Biorama about the lives of sets when their owners aren't around. I also do mock reviews and a new series starring my Self-Moc, Renzo.
Hey, I'm Bionic Sonic. I have a series on my YouTube channel called Chronicles of Darkness, which is a continuation of the G2 story. And I also make a lot of random videos just for fun.
I'm ThatchMac. I do a series called Fables of the Multiverse, and I also do a few mock reviews every once in a blue moon. And I'm also working on a series called Chronicle that won't be out forever. So, yeah.
Hello, I'm Toa Okoto, and I make a Bionicle House Legacy. It's a mediocre series made by myself. I started it last year. I make mocks once in a while, like that said. I'd make some other videos too, since it's all stop motions. I used to make a Ninjago series also, and yeah.
My name's Rangus, also known as Lego Building 97. I have a series named Life of Night about my Self-Moc in his day-to-day life. It is an R-rated series, and I also do mock reviews.
Hello, I'm Vanu Vontravia. I make mocks and mock how-tos, but I intend to do more on my channel.
Hey, I'm Toa Niretta. I don't really do much on my YouTube, but I'm trying to get more active. I do silly mock videos, and I'm more active on DeviantArt, where I do art.
Hello, I'm Otto Von Doom. I am an amateur voice actor for various series of The People You See Before You. And I also write certain episodes and certain dialogue, and I also post videos just for fun.
All right, awesome. So, yeah, how's everybody doing?
I'm all right.
Good.
Yeah.
Could be very better.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
You know what? My grandma told me what to do.
You good?
All right, so should we talk about, what our plans for the channel are and everything?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
Who wants to take the reins?
Thatch?
All right.
I'll start. I'll start.
All right.
So back after G2 was canceled, I wanted to make a community. I wanted to bring the Bionicle community together a bit more. And so I met Toa Okoto and Toa Okoto and Renzo. And then we brought Thatch in, we brought Otto in, Rangus, Vanu, and Niretta. And since Toa Okoto and Renzo already had this podcast channel, we decided to kind of revitalize it since they weren't doing much with it, and use it as the hub for our community.
Sorry, people.
We took over.
Yep, but yeah, so the type of videos you could probably expect on this channel are I'm going to be reviewing everyone's Self-Mocs and uploading that, all 8 of them, so you guys can look forward to that. We're also podcasts are going to be weekly, so yeah, whenever this podcast comes out, this is going to be pre-recorded, so probably not for a little while after we've actually recorded it, but after that it'll be weekly podcasts. And the last thing that we know that we have for sure plans to do stuff with is that a lot of us are going to Brick Fair. I'm going 100%. Do you guys want to say if you're going or whatever?
I might be going.
I am 100% going.
Ooh.
And Toa Okoto?
There's a slim chance.
All right. So yeah, we're probably doing videos with that. Hopefully interviews maybe. Oh yeah, also expect interviews. We're hopefully going to be interviewing people. And also fun videos while we're at Brick Fair and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sounds very good.
It's going to be a good old time.
Just a jolly blast.
Yeah, indeed.
Indeed.
Do you guys want to start talking about the mocks?
Yeah.
As well.
I guess. I'll go last, I guess. I don't mind.
I need to go last.
Okay, Otto, shall I do mine first, or?
Last.
No, I need to go last, Otto.
It needs to happen, Otto. It's a necessity.
Right, I'll do mine first, and then Otto and then Kasai.
All right.
Right, so first, casual mock. It's
Want to
not
post a
myself mock.
picture of it in the chat?
Yeah, putting a few pictures, I guess, like from behind and stuff, because he's a jumble mess of parts, I guess. And then I'll talk about who he is and why he's like this, I guess. So brief, history and you know, if you want to talk about your opinions of what you like and what you dislike about him, I guess you can do that. So his name's Scrap Pile. Evident from how he looks, he hasn't taken care of himself. He's an old dying man with not much to his name. Caring about others, doesn't care about himself. And he's also well-being. One of the oldest civilians on this sort of planet that Life of a Knight takes place on. He's been outcasted from the city, so he's pretty much forgotten about. People don't care about him. People just want him, to be gone, I guess. He's a blacksmith who makes weapons if anyone comes past. He's very grateful for people when they see him or greet him or just generally have a conversation with him. He's very grateful about that.
He's such a nice dude. Nobody likes him.
He's more or less a lonely person, but because of the age, people don't want to, and the way he looks, people generally, if they walk past someone like that, they'll think, oh, he's insane, but he's not. It's just because he doesn't take care of himself. He'll find parts that don't match him. There's about 5% of him that is his original self, and the rest is
oh my god,
completely.
Well, more like RoboCop.
Sounds
but
like
that's it. He hasn't been in battle or anything. It's just the fact that of his age.
How old is
he's
he?
fallen apart. How I would think of it is that it's not going to be Earth years, I guess. So I would kind of think that he's like, because it's like robotics and so on. I'd say 9,000, and that's one of the oldest civilians. And I mean, he's still going strong. He hasn't, died off or anything. It's just that he's fallen apart daily, and he just doesn't care about it. This is what I mean. Like, he's gotten to the point where he thinks his life should have ended a long time ago, but something is just keeping him going and going. And eventually, he will team up with Rangus. So it's a dynamic that I'm looking forward to because he is going to be that sort of father figure for myself more.
It's sad. It's sad because it sounds like he likes to go and he's like, hey, I can blacksmith. So you're like, no, go away, you're ugly.
See, the thing is that you look at him and you're like, oh, you can't do much. You'll be surprised because he's been around for that long. He will know a lot of things, and I mean, he looks fragile and stuff, and
I like his necklace thing, and I like his the little tubes coming off of his eyes. I think that looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's all a bit creepy, but cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the sort of direction I wanted to go for him because I didn't want him to be. I don't know. I just wanted him to seem. The looks are something deceiving, but himself is completely different to how you'd see him as. Again, with myself, Mark, he looks like royalty, but his personality is terrible. It's a thing that
give him a limp.
It's something that I've wanted to keep as a sort of idea with my Mocs to sort of give it
deceiving.
With people being
unexpected.
Yeah, exactly. Like when people you've actually spoken to it, and that's something that I want to keep in mind because I know that happens quite a lot. Does anyone want to talk about their opinions on him and what you like and what you dislike?
I like him.
I guess.
Yeah, I like that.
A lot.
I like the character.
I think it's very interesting.
This no offense, it's kind of been this has taken up a little while, so maybe we should move on to the next mock.
Yeah, completely fine.
Probably.
All right, Otto, that's your turn.
I'm frightened. Excuse me. I'm kidding. But anyways, let me pull up the images while I talk. So my mock is Otto Von Doom. So it's my self-mock pretty much, and he rules over this section of the multiverse called the Nether. Now, what's known about the Nether is virtually unknown, just that it has an extremely fearsome leader such as Otto Von Doom. And so, it's taking a while for these pictures. I'm sorry, guys.
Now, this isn't the Minecraft Nether, right?
No, it's not the Minecraft Nether.
Just to clear that up.
It's not the Minecraft Nether. I just thought that the first word that came to mind for a dimension he could a universe he could rule over was Nether. And I'm like, okay, that sounds ominous enough.
The first thing that comes to mind, though, is the Minecraft Netherworld.
Yes, it does.
Well, you're a big Minecraft fan. I mean, Brickfair wearing that Minecraft.
I am not.
Obviously.
I mean, I don't call it the Netherworld.
I'm not.
Nor
Yeah,
do I
true.
call it the Nether Realm for any of you Mortal Kombat fans out there.
Does he
So,
does he have
go on.
political relations with the ruler of the End realm
End Realm,
and the Overworld
Perhaps.
realm?
perhaps. He goes around, goes karting with Bowser.
Bowser.
Man, those pictures are taken. Oh, there we go.
yeah, there we go.
There he is.
There are the pictures.
Very cool.
Of course, I intend on updating him. I intend on giving him golden antlers, just to
Ooh.
solidify the fact that, he is the king!
Hmm.
Fitting.
And,
The ruler.
and I also plan on giving him, whose cape? Oh yeah, I plan on giving him Kylo Ren's cape, just to further cement the fact that he's Emperor. And I'm gonna replace the sword too.
All right, neato. So you want to talk about like the design while you were building him?
Oh yeah, well I had at first I started off with the skeleton of Onua, Master of Earth, and then I found out how it was a bit restricting, so I turned to pretty much everyone else here on this podcast for advice, and I believe it was Kasai who recommended the Tahu Uniter build.
Yeah.
Yes, Kasai recommended the Tahu Uniter build, and while it unfortunately cost me my JTO Makuta, I was able to get all the parts I needed and eventually make him.
Cool.
Yeah, it looks good.
All right.
Pretty
well,
solid.
so while Kasai's needs more time, should we like someone else present a mock or something?
Well, if there's one more thing I'd want to mention about Otto Von Doom, it's like he might have a certain feud with Niretta.
Yeah, if they ever come into contact with each other and meet. All right. I could talk about the Wanderer. If you guys would be cool with that, because Kasai, all right, needs more time. All right.
Okay.
All right.
I was gonna ask, because I know that Otto put in chat saying that he got inspiration about the gun being like a blunderbuss.
Oh, you wanted to talk about my gun?
Yeah, I mean, like, did you have like any reference about like, or any sort of just like general ideas about
Yeah, wasn't it
weapons
based
that you
on the
want to
ray
use?
gun?
It started off as the ray gun, as the gun from Ray and from the ultra the quote unquote ultra build Star Wars set, but I just started slapping more parts onto it. Eventually, I'll update it. Excuse me. I'll update it. I kind of slipped into a Scottish accent there, but excuse me. But yeah, eventually I'll update it. For reference, I actually looked to Krennic's gun from Star Wars. Oh, it's not Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was pretty cool, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So, because it was part revolver, so I thought, why not give him that?
All right.
Or something.
I'm going.
All right. So then I'll briefly go over the Wanderer real quick. So let me get a photo of him. Improvise. You guys are gonna see some tea in this photo. Basically, the idea behind him is that he's based off of the character from Biorama called the Wanderer, obviously, and that character is the keeper of the what's it called, Renzo?
It's called the Pit.
The Pit, yeah, the keeper of the Pit, and he basically walks around and he like stalks people there, and he can kind of also go into the real world, right?
Yep.
And he's this really creepy dude. He barely talks. He talks a little bit, but the idea is that he's this tall, creepy, spindly guy, and I really like that idea. So I decided that I kind of wanted to make my own version of that, and I really like the mock that Renzo made because it looks really cool. Like it just looks really creepy and stuff. And so I tried to base mine like off of that one. And I think it worked out, especially I really liked some of the design parts of it. Like I loved the giant claw hand, and I loved his other weird hand thing with the drill in it. So yeah, the only thing that I think I'm not satisfied with it is that he's not weird enough. Like I wish he was more creepy and gangly. But yeah, you guys have any thoughts about it or anything?
I was gonna say, I'm going. It's all right. You go first. Don't worry.
Oh, sorry for interrupting. There's a bit of a lag apparently, but what I was going to ask was, this pit you speak of, is it where is it sort of like where the Toa Mari and the Baraki fought?
It's an alternate dimension.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
It's hard from that, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. So, any other questions or anything about him?
I was gonna add, is there any certain reason why you have like one sort of armor plate orange and the other red?
I don't have another orange armor plate for him.
Plain and simple.
So I had to use red, but that's okay.
I would take it off, I guess, and just have one arm with it on.
I don't know, man.
See how that works. You could add stuff to it, on one arm.
I like this. I like the symmetry. The idea is that it's a placeholder, and eventually I'm going to get an actual other orange.
You could always try painting it.
I don't know. Paint looks weird. I guess I could.
Hard.
I would have to buy orange paint though.
I
Yeah.
feel
Not
like
that bad at painting.
Probably cheaper than buying another part or something.
Yeah, maybe. Because you have to get paid for shipping.
Perhaps. I feel that to up the creepy factor on this guy, perhaps he could do with. I mean, sure, he would kind of be a little bit different from the original version, but I feel like if he had Slenderman tentacles coming from his back,
that could be interesting.
that would perhaps
That
up
would
the creepy factor.
I would like that. He actually has a modified part on his chest. That Paraka V thing is cut in half.
I just noticed that.
So it is.
Yeah,
Wow.
thanks for pointing it out.
Yeah, so that's not really. It's not really normal, I guess. It's completely modified, but it was hard to get the chest right because of the way the torso's built. It wasn't. It would be angled off to the side if I built it a certain way. So I spent 20 minutes just trying to figure out how to attach that. But yeah, maybe Kasai wants to talk about his mock then now.
I'm gonna add him back. He's taking pictures.
Oh, he left?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Well, his mock anyway.
Yeah, his mock is there, but
I just noticed, looking at the back of Wanderer, he has those those ammo cord things.
Yeah.
And they just
Yeah,
has
off to the
spikes, so it looks
side.
like a rib cage.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Sure.
really cool.
It's like an open
Mhm.
rib cage.
Yeah, I would not mind using a
Oh.
design like that in the future.
I love how you got the head attached. Good job. I love how you added the head. You didn't have to, but it's there.
I think that head is really creepy, so there was no way I wasn't going to add the head.
Oh, I meant the piece that connects the mask. But
Oh, yeah. Well, I like that because it kind of gives him he doesn't have a soul, and I was like, that's really extra creepy.
yeah.
That's dark.
All right, Kasai, you ready to present yours?
Yes.
All right, well, maybe want to turn on your volume a little bit if you're recording.
Yeah.
dang, he
So
shouted
intense.
into his mic. Ouch.
Good intense.
Okay, better?
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
We're
Sweet.
kind of going over time. We're already 30 minutes in, so if you kind of want to make it a little bit brief.
Well, we got 30 more minutes. We'll be fine. Yeah, I apologize for that. So this mock is the CEO of the Harmonix Plasma Corps, and he is from his home planet, where I think the idea was that his species was eradicated. So he kind of holds a very serious grudge over that. But he built up his company, making better weapons. Or he built it up legitimately, and then took out his competition through shadier means.
Oh, dark.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's got a southern accent, and he's very kind of Negan inspired for those who have seen The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Vegan.
Well, as far as design goes, the staff is what pops out to me the most.
The head to me.
Yeah,
be
it's
Yeah.
skull cane.
Mm-hmm. It's it's supposed to be his intimidating walking stick.
I guess the fact that I don't see too many mocks with with just skull canes, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of
Yeah.
makes it pop out more to me. 'cause I
Yeah,
just
the
don't
skull
see
cane
it too
is.
often.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
awesome.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's a pretty solid figure. Mock altogether, to be honest.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah.
I think he's got a unique look to him.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Yeah.
eye.
Yeah. And I like the balanced color scheme. There's an even amount of black, gunmetal, and the trans colors.
Did
Mhm.
you? We should mention this. I don't know if you did, but did you mention that his company made Camilleo's guns?
Yeah, so Camilleo's his plasma pistols that he has in the Christmas special, the black and green ones, the older models. But yeah, so those were of his design.
Interesting.
That should mean interesting stuff for Fodham.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, what's the next segment we got? It's all buried by Mocs. All right. So, movie discussion then. You want to talk about the movie you saw, Rangus? No spoilers, obviously.
Yeah.
Spoiler free. No worries, guys. Watch viewers.
What was it? Yesterday, I went to go and see Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I'll just say that I know I put it in chat, but I'll just say this now. Is it below the first one? Yeah. Is it great? Yes. Does it have problems? Definitely. But again, from what reviews I've heard, the second half was amazing. The first was a bit choppy, I guess. So I seen it yesterday. I'm just trying to think about what actually happened. I mean, when I came out of Civil War, I could remember everything. And the same with Doctor Strange with this. It's a bit, I wasn't disappointed anywhere because it's Guardians. It's a good thing, I guess. The first one was amazing. Not my favorite Marvel film. The Winter Soldier, definitely. But I just want to talk about my issues, I guess, that I had with it. It's nothing spoilerish. It's something to do more or less with the script and the direction they kind of went with, I guess. Is that a lot of the jokes didn't hit. And I know comedy is subjective and so on, I get that. But it tried to be too funny for itself, if that makes sense. I mean, like overly funny. You know, we get it. It's Guardians. It's meant to be jokey, I guess. But it took until the kind of halfway through the film for things to actually get serious, I guess. Whereas with the first one, it got serious pretty quick, and then it had comedy laid through. The comedy was a bit, again, some characters stood out, some others didn't. Some editing choices that I found really bizarre. And I'll put it in chat. But when you see these random editor people where they have their eyes like huge and mouths like like a Snapchat filter, I guess. That's in the film.
Wow.
Stuff like that. Exactly.
Interesting.
Not very well. It really.
Wait, no, I mean, like, how does it fit in the movie? Like, is it specific characters?
To do with them jumping between different universes, I guess, or whatever. They were trying to get to a certain planet. I'm not going to say anything. Just a certain place or planet. And they had to make 100 jumps, I think it was. And that's where things are really weird, I guess. And it was just jumping from different universe to start to start and all that. And the effect they used was really bizarre to me. It really took me out.
Right.
Go on.
Oh, I was gonna say, was the trip sort of like the trip that Stephen Strange briefly went through in Doctor Strange?
No. They're in a ship and they're doing it like a hyperdrive, I guess. But the editing choices made were really out there, I guess. Like you could tell that James Gunn had full control over this film, where it seemed like he had more restrictions over the first. And whenever you go and see the film, you'll understand what I'm saying. So again, with the comedy again, there was just parts where just.
Were there some really funny moments though that actually did work well?
Definitely, yeah. There was, your Marvel standout comedy moments where you just burst out laughing because the comedy is really good. But there is parts where it didn't feel needed for that moment, I guess.
All right. So how are the action scenes?
There's not too many action scenes. I'll say that now. I'll say this now because it's pretty much expected, I guess. It does start up how the first one starts. Nothing spoilerish. It's not giving away anything. It's just how the movie starts, with your song and all that stuff. But it's a weird how it starts, I guess. You just thrown it into there, and you're like, okay, right, so we're here. This is where we start from. Let's go. And there's things where the action takes place to music, if you know what I mean. So you know that Guardians has a soundtrack.
Yeah.
The
Oh
action
yeah,
is
like
to the
it's
music.
all 80s music. Kind of.
Yeah,
Is the soundtrack really good in this movie?
it's there is some standouts definitely, but it's not as good as the first soundtrack. From my personal, I love 80s music. But these some songs that I thought was like, okay, right, you didn't need that, I guess. Although it could have been this different type of version of the song that you could have used. But it is a solid film. Sorry, it's just has issues. Like,
How are the special effects?
Yeah, very odd, weird. And also, I'll say this now. This is not spoilerish, but this is something that's thrown me off for a Marvel film. There's a lot of talk of like sexual talk for a Marvel film.
Oh my.
A lot?
A lot.
Oh, that's
Oh
gross.
my.
It's like
Yeah. All right. So how would you rate it? How
yeah,
score out of 10?
The more you know.
Go on. Okoto?
What?
I thought you were going to say something.
No, I said the more you know, kids.
Oh.
Ow.
So I would rate this one like an 8.5, I guess.
Oh wow.
Not
The
bad.
again, the effects really, like those certain things I was on about just put me off.
So
All
right, so there's like some really so there's a
Yeah.
lot of moments that work really well, and there's a lot of moments that don't
Yeah,
work.
definitely.
But
definitely.
the moments that work well work really well.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
yeah, the villain is a far superior villain to what was in Guardians 1. I feel like
That's
Marvel's
cool.
getting their villains sort of right, I guess.
All right.
So it was good to see that. And it sort of seemed like it was going in a bit of a darker tone, too, with certain things. But I'm not going to go into that as spoiler, so...
Is it true that there's like 6 post-credit scenes?
5. There's 5.
What?
How the heck? How does that work?
So...
Without spoilers.
So if I remember, it cuts to black about a minute of titles go, like credits go up, and then it goes to the first title sequence. Another like minute, the next, and so on.
Are they all good?
Some are, and then
Are
some
they
are
linked?
right. I'll say this now. They're not hinting towards any other Marvel film.
Oh.
Maybe Guardians 3.
Oh.
There's that one, the certain someone that confirms that certain theory.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. I mean, I'm sad that it was spoiled for me,
It's
but
also in the
I'm
film
happy.
as well.
I'm happy that I'm sad that it was spoiled for me, but I'm happy that it's canon because that's an awesome idea.
Go on.
Oh no.
How is that? Sorry. Okay. How is that? How well is that thing done? Because I can imagine that looking really stupid.
I guess to a general audience member, they'll think, "What is that? What is that?" It looks great. I guess the CG is on point.
All right.
It's done really well. I know, like sometimes you can tell what's CG and what isn't, but I mean,
All right.
it's just like really good.
All right. So, is it better than the Howard the Duck post-credit scene?
Well, I was gonna say something about him, but
Okay.
yeah,
Oh
definitely.
boy. Okay, I'm excited about that now.
I was a little bit disappointed the fact that they didn't reference. Like, it sort of feels like this film isn't connected to any other Marvel film. It's sort of doing its own thing, I guess. It sort of just seems like the film's just based around like the Guardians' day-to-day life, I guess. Like,
All right.
what they do normally. So yeah.
All right. All right. Cool. So should we move on to the general discussion?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I'll talk about the books so that Rangus doesn't need to talk for like 30 minutes straight. All right. So I read the first 3 Bionicle Adventures books, which are the 2004 series. It's the Metru storyline. So basically, it's basically what you don't see in the movie. So in the movie they show the Metru kind of becoming Toa, and then they need to get the Great Discs, and they just do a montage of of them getting it, and then they just go to the rest of the story. The books are about how they get the Great Discs, and there's 2 books dedicated to them getting them, and then the 3rd book is dedicated to defeating this thing called the Bazooka or something, Morbazooka, I think. And it's this. The Morbazak. And the Morbazak is the main villain of these 3. It's a giant plant, which is pretty lame, but then again, it's hard to make a villain that isn't a set, so it's a plant, but it's still pretty lame. And it has telepathy, so you can hear it talking, and it gets really over the top, and why is this plant saying things like, I will destroy all, it's a plant. And it's really built, this is the one problem I think I have with the books, is that every single moment, whatever they're fighting right now is the worst, most deathly thing ever. And it's okay, so if this plant almost killed them, how are they ever going to be able to defeat Makuta, right? And so it gets kind of weird, the scale of the power levels. Mm-hmm. But they're overall good because there's a lot of time dedicated to developing Metru Nui as a city, a lot of time, and that's really cool because you get to learn how the shoot system and how they travel from one place to another. You get to meet a few villagers, and the way the relationship is with the Toa is pretty cool. I really they spend a lot of time developing how the Toa feel. They want most of them when they first start Toa want to go back to being a Matoran. They don't like being Toa. And that's really interesting because you can see their lives are completely changed. There's a scene where Nokama is walking through her village, and she was just turned to a Toa, and nobody recognizes her, and she's seeing all these people, and she's trying to say hi, but nobody knows who she is. And it's really sad. And that's pretty cool. And the thing with it is, though, there is it does its best to fit in with the movie. In fact, there's this really cool thing. The montage scene with them getting the discs. You see scenes of them doing stuff. You see Vakama, and he's all held up together by these rope things, and you see Nuju finds a disc stuck in a giant ice pillar thing. One of the ice towers. And all of those things, those short scenes in the montage, are all actually in the book.
Oh, that's cool.
So one of them is, you see Wanua, and in the movie you see him shutting the door to this giant claw thing.
Yeah, what was that? And
that was actually, I think it was a giant, what are the spiders that Takua had?
Fiku? No,
that wasn't
not spider. Crab. The crab.
Ooh,
Ussel crab. Yeah, it was a mutant Ussel crab, I believe.
Oh my word!
It was a giant mutant Ussel crab, and they actually explain that. And it's really cool that all those things happen. And then when you see Vakama with wrapped up in those vines, that's actually him wrapped up by the Morbazaka. So all of those things are actually canon, and I thought that was cool. That was well done. I guess if I'm reading the first 3 books, I can't talk about this, but the biggest problem I think I found is, so this book starts off with them already being Toa, and then they talk about going to get the discs, and they go and get them, and they meet the Matoran. But then in the 4th book, and this isn't, I know that's not part of the first 3, but it's annoying because the 4th book is the movie, so it goes over it again, and it's kind of hard to figure out, we already saw this, and, what actually happened, which version actually happened, and did all this happen? That gets confusing. And then there's this scene, this is kind of a spoiler, but I think it's kind of ridiculous, so I think it needs to be addressed, is that there's a scene where all of the Matoran that go with them, Akamu and Vizola, they help the Toa by, the Toa are fighting, I don't know, something like the Morbazaka or something, and then they all turn into a Matoran Kaita, and it's really weird and out of nowhere, it came out of nowhere, and it doesn't really make any sense, especially with their characters before, they're not great people, and that was kind of out of nowhere, and I feel like there would have been a better way to address that, but otherwise, as far as the way it's written, it's really cool to see that, it really fits in with the movie pretty well. There's a few characters are different in the movie than in the book slightly, but otherwise, it does a good job, and there's also, I like in the books, Kreka isn't a complete idiot. He's just kind of quiet, but he's not super dumb. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the books. They're really good books. You should read them, but it gets kind of hard because sometimes you can tell they ordered 10 books from Greg Farschi, and it was hard for him. Some of the story kind of goes in weird places that isn't it advances weird because they need to make a book about something. But otherwise they're pretty good. They're a pretty good read. I really like them.
So basically, aside from the eco-terrorist plant, the And then other stuff that conflicted with the continuity, it's a pretty good read.
And the story stretching itself out artificially, which didn't flow naturally. Those are the only problems. But otherwise, the good things really outweigh the bad things. Like, the characters are really well done. The Toa Metru working together as a team there's a lot of time like spent to them actually becoming a team, and that's cool. And it's also awesome to see all the epilogues with seeing like Vakama telling the stories and stuff. That's pretty cool.
You know, I would not mind reading it despite its few flaws.
Yeah, it's good.
Knowing that Kreka is not an idiot that just will never shut up is just put a smile on my face.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't talk much. They mention that he's not super smart, but he doesn't say He probably does in the movie adaptation because it's based on the movie. But otherwise, before that, he doesn't like. He's not really annoying. He's just like quiet.
I want to get them now. I want to go find them.
So
yeah, they're good.
So he's like Soundwave from TFP, but stupid.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, can I just say something to Otto about the Soundwave thing? I know it's completely off topic.
Sure.
I mean, we are talking about general discussion. Otto, do we ever know if Soundwave is a guy?
Well,
Yes.
they often refer to Soundwave as a he, so
Kind of the biggest hint.
Isn't that just like dependent like on the season and so on?
I have to state this. This is just too crazy of a coincidence. I have to state this. I watched a video on someone's channel, and he was basically a Q&A, and he said, one person asked this YouTuber, "How do we know? How do we know?
Go on.
How do we know Soundwave is
Are you
a
talking
guy?"
about Diamond Bolt?
Yes, him.
Yeah, that's where I got it from. Yeah. I remember watching the Q&A and I was
I'm
like,
pretty sure there's enough evidence to tell he is a guy.
I will admit that Soundwave was pretty slender in.
Oh my god.
Well, he was mistaken
he
for
was.
RC, so.
Yeah, he was mistaken for RC. His legs.
Because of the voice. He was replaying RC's voice, and everyone just was like, "Oh my gosh, they made Soundwave a girl."
Oh yeah, that's right. And I remember this one other user who said that Soundwave is not a girl, and he posted just a bunch of montage. He posted basically a montage of Soundwave replaying clips of other characters besides RC.
I saw. Oh, I saw one which was basically the same thing, except he also included the RC clip.
Well, you know, he does speak in one episode.
Yeah, he says his iconic line.
Soundwave superior, Autobots inferior.
but it
I
also
don't think
just
a
shows
girl
how
would have that deep voice, just saying.
it just also shows like how respectful Transformers Prime is, and also it plays the touch in one episode. Nemesis Prime.
You got the touch.
Oh yeah, wasn't it the car
In
horn?
Agent Vault, yep.
Oh yeah, it was the radio. I'm sorry.
Except it didn't have any, it was just the instrumental to it. Nice little nod, callback.
Rangus, do you want to talk about the Great Fire?
Oh, right. So this happened, I think, last week. I know it's sort of old news, I guess. Again, I put it in Charles talking to everyone about it because it was all happening. So over here in the UK, they're called flats. It's a block of apartments. That'll make things easier. We'll go with that. So it's like the story of 12, and there's two of them next to each other. And it was on the top floor, and this was like 2 a.m. And I remember getting a Snapchat from a friend saying, "Oh my god, look at like the flats over the road." I was like, "Okay." So I go to my window and I look, and the top floor's on fire, like completely in flames, huge blaze of fire. I was like, "Okay, what's happened?" So I remember
that was when I heard Godzilla's scream.
Oh, this is happening. And I remember going out, like barely dressed, I guess. I was like, "Oh,
just running in your underwear. What the heck's going on?"
Oh, you and your trousers.
I had like, stuff on, just not fully clothed, I guess. But I got there and there was police cars everywhere, like 15, like 2 fire engines and so on, ambulances. I was like, "Oh my god, someone's died." And I check my Facebook for like my local news. Yeah, not long after it finds out that there was a body,
Oh.
and the floor caved in to the floor below.
Whoa.
So I was like, okay, this seems a bit odd. This doesn't happen.
Just a little
around here,
bit.
So I waited till the morning to check the damage was like, as you do. So I went to the, block of them, and I looked up, and the metal of where the windows are, so like the frame of the windows, were pushed outwards.
Oh.
Whoa.
With the wall as well. So it seemed like either the stove had kind of blown up, I guess, or there was too much pressure from the fire and then obviously burst outwards.
Wow.
Like, interesting, I guess, but the whole floor went off.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
You should have videotaped it.
I was too busy helping people, man.
Yeah.
It was just
Just
because it's normally filled with like elderly people and stuff, and just like
Mhm.
2 a.m, they haven't that, their home practically is on fire. There's nothing they can do. That all they have to do is like stand there and watch it.
I'm just
So, like,
imagining.
just like ask around, saying, okay, yeah, this is casual, nice fire, I guess. Yeah.
What's with you? I'm just imagining you like waking up and you hear like a help, and then all of a sudden you open your eyes and you run out there and you got an 8 ab pack or whatever, and you're like running in, like busting down doors and saving the day, and you've got like people like under your arms, you're like jumping out windows and stuff. Like explosion behind you.
I don't think so. There was someone who was like locking up their store. I'm not sure. I don't think you have this store in the US. It's called Lidl. It's a German store. And they were closing off when they seen all the people outside, so they opened back up, so just to let people in.
Oh wow.
That's nice.
So they're out there like cold and stuff. But I don't know. It's not much like happens around here. I guess it's very nothing
Quiet.
to that extreme. It's
And then when
more or
something
less-
does happen, a building freaking explodes.
everyone's like, okay, there's something to talk about. It's different, I guess. It's the first thing I've seen like around here for my 19 years of living here.
Wow.
It was just an interesting experience. I mean, again, nothing happened around here, I guess, but just waking up, well, already in bed, chatting and like Skype and stuff, and then looking out the window. There's a fire.
Oh, would you look at that?
I think I should go out and help, I guess.
I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
Well,
It's okay. I've got a bucket. It's okay.
All right. Should we?
They just look out the window again. Everything escalates, and you're just like, I think I'm gonna need a bigger bucket.
Just grab the water balloons.
yeah, I think water balloons would work.
Which ones? All of them.
I'll take my
big
bucket and
ones.
2
The
marshmallows.
big
Come on,
water
boys, let's go.
It's a cannon. Just shooting like cannonballs, watermelons out there like a cannon.
Wait, Rangus, did you say marshmallows?
Yeah. Take my bucket and 2
It's
marshmallows.
roast some good old fashioned.
This is not the time to make s'mores.
Now is not
Maybe
the
when we
time.
shrink. Maybe
Well,
when
I
it's
was already
shrink-
up at 2 a.m. I might as well have made some breakfast, a pan, some eggs, put it towards the fire, Captain America shield, dinner plate.
All right. Well, we should probably wrap this up now. It's almost. Been,
All
It's
right.
only been 60 minutes. All right. So how are we gonna end this? Should Renzo do an outro?
Yeah, I said we can, do that.
All right, Renzo.
Take it away.
I think,
Renzo.
I think this is what it was. This is like, this is so fresh.
Did he
Just
fall
went away.
asleep?
Uh-oh.
Don't know.
Renzo.
What?
You need to do an outro.
Rather
Oh.
professional.
Thank you for watching, guys. Leave a
Like and subscribe.
subscribe.
Yay.
Yeah. Subscribe,
All right.
people. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching the Hapori Podcast. See you next week, and goodbye.